Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Loophole Podcast. I'm your host, Loopie. Alongside me is also your host, Jelani Muna. What is up, Jelani Muna? How are you doing today?
Well, honestly, I've been pretty good. I've been trying to do some new things as of late and, trying to get back into the game and everything. So now I feel a bit ready for what is in store for this podcast.
Yeah, a lot of things have been going on in the span of basically only a week, man. It has been a tough week.
How have you been though?
Man, I've had a shitty week, I'll be honest with you. It's been nothing but shit. We'll talk about it later. It's in the title. But the first thing we want to announce, which also is in the title, is that officially the Loophole Podcast is back on Spotify for podcasters and all the other podcast places. It's going to be easier for us to advertise for the simple purpose that, because we're on different platforms, if we use Google Ads, it wouldn't be too far off. You know what I mean? I experimented with Google Ads, and it seems to be working pretty well. The traffic seems to be working very well, so it's something that I might be doing, Google Ads, for NI and for the Loophole Podcast. I hope to be investing quite a bit into just helping the channel actually gain a core audience. It's not about making the subscriber count add up. It's just a core audience is what's needed first. So that's definitely totally what we need.
Yes, and it's pretty great that you're on Spotify now. You have all your episodes, so now people that have been waiting for the Spotify episodes are now able to listen to all of them. So, if you want to enjoy Spotify, if you want to enjoy it, you want to listen to the audio-only versions of them, you can.
Yeah. And man, it's not just my episodes, it's our episodes. This is our podcast.
Yes.
And man, honestly, what motivated me to even repost everything was the fact that they changed to Anchor. It's no longer Anchor, it's actually Spotify for podcasters. So
really?
Yeah. Well, it was already owned by Spotify. I told you about this. Yeah. But now it's just Spotify for podcasters, which is totally better, honestly. I think it just didn't make sense not to name it Spotify for podcasters.
Well, I guess maybe they just wanted to kind of not be lazy about the naming. Maybe they just wanted to come up with something new. Instead of it being Spotify for podcasters, it could just be something different. Like Anchor, for example. I mean, sounds different from Spotify, so maybe they originally went with that. But I guess maybe it might have been too confusing. Maybe people didn't really know, so I guess that's why they changed it.
Yeah. I think Anchor was bought by Spotify. Yeah. Anchor was bought by Spotify for $340 million in a deal.
Damn, $340 million?
Yeah. That included the studio Gimlet. Is a free podcast hosting service. Anchor said that its service was used to create 1 million new podcasts, accounting for 80% of new shows uploaded to Spotify that year, which is insane. Anyways, in 2020, that's when everybody started a podcast, even us.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, with COVID and everything, it changed the whole landscape of the content creation world. Now I see people making podcasts. I think I've had some of my friends actually discuss with me about them making podcasts as well. And honestly, I feel like it's pretty great. But the problem is the oversaturation of it.
Totally.
Because because I mean, anyone can make a podcast. Anyone could just sit down and talk and everything, and not have a personality. But with content creation, you have to have a personality for people to be interested in. Like for me, when it comes to my show, I want to be able to build a personality. I mean, I already have a personality built, but I want it to be where people can be attracted to that. That's why when I return, I want to be able to make sure that I just go with what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that people can enjoy what I put out, because it's necessary.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with podcasts. I absolutely adore the idea that there's new podcasts coming out, even though there might be oversaturation, or, well, I mean, there totally is. 50,000 podcasts were created every single day, and I think even now it's still crazy. People are just starting podcasts, and in a way, it's very therapeutic. I just sit down, talk with you, or talk with the homies, or interview some people, and it's some of the like craziest shit ever. I just get out of an episode like a completely new person. Very rarely do you see me end an episode and I'm like, oh, I'm sick and tired of this. Right?
Yeah.
Like I've had a few bad episodes. I'll be honest. A lot of times I've just been like, what the fuck am I doing here? But never anything like truly personal. So like, I'm just happy to just be here.
Well, yeah. I guess like an example is, I'm a wrestling fan. I watch a lot of WWE. I used to watch it a lot when I was younger. I still kind of watch it here and there, not too much. But another thing that is great is there are now podcasts of wrestlers now. Some famous names that you've probably heard of, and some not so famous names that you've heard of in the wrestling industry. They're creating podcasts, so now you all know about how the insides of the business work and everything. And honestly, it's pretty interesting knowing the insides of it all. Like something that the average fan would never really know about. And now it's all here, so we're able to listen to it. And, I listen to some of them like plenty times a day.
Yeah. I mean, people might think like, oh, a podcast is no effort. I even thought that podcasts were no effort. It's just you film an episode of you talking with another human being, you upload it, and then you're done. No, there's so much that goes into doing a podcast. I think even as much as music.
Yes.
To even like think like, okay, preparation, which we barely do. Let's be honest. We don't prepare. It's not me, trying to scold each other or anything. It's just we don't prepare. We just turn on the shit and we go, right? And that's what we're really, really good at. So we have something that we're good at that not a lot of people can really do. Now It's our job to stand out, right? Come up with some clips, come up with stuff like that. Just not a lot of independent podcasters can do. Then you got to find the right market, the right people to appeal to. You got to post, you got to edit, you got to clip, you got to post again, and even more. I mean, it's incredible how much work actually goes into doing a podcast. And not only that, advertising. I mean, you have to find ways to just make up a podcast interesting, and it takes a lot of time.
Yes. But the good thing about it is even though it's a lot of work, though, at the same time, it can also be very simple in a way. Like I see, like compared to a lot of the content that you see on social media platforms, podcasting can be very simple to understand, though. Like there are a lot of like it's one that's why there's so many is because it's so easy to get into and everything, and that's actually pretty great of
Oh
how easy it is.
yeah, I think it's more like if I wasn't doing anything with my life and I started a podcast and I understood, because it's easy to understand how much work goes into a podcast when you start doing a podcast, right?
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing anything else like NI music, YouTube, whatever, I'd be doing this and, shit, like, something would be happening with this podcast. It is terribly difficult. You need a team when you're doing stuff like that. That's what a lot of these podcasters, do. They have a team. They have somebody that uploads to like other platforms. They have somebody doing the marketing or the advertising. They have somebody going out, reaching out to guests and stuff. That it all takes a lot of planning, right? And a lot of, okay, this is my plan of action. This is how I'm going to proceed, and this is how I'm going to do this and that and this and that, and it takes so much time. But the thing is, though, I don't really care that we don't have any listenership, for the simple reason that it's just fun, bro. It's so much fun. Like I have so much fun doing the podcast, and I know that I can eventually market it and eventually advertise and eventually put a lot of time into it. But at the moment, I'm just having fun with it because already there's a lot of content coming out because we barely have any preparation before the podcast. We just let things roll for a week, for a whole week, and then turn on the camera and then just go live and this and that. And it's just simple, right? What's hard about it, it's what's on the outside of that and how you use your time to make sure that podcast episode stands out from other podcasts.
Yes, and but the thing is too is though a question I do have is like what what is your example of a good podcast? Like what are some podcasts that you enjoy?
I don't really listen to podcasts as much. What I do recognize in a good podcast is, first of all, the natural ability to flow topics, right? Or to come up with something interesting to talk about, or the natural ability to make something like just make something funny out of basically like anything, right? Like just the great like shock value, or just the humor, and basically the lack of dead air, the lack of stutters and shit like that. It's just people bouncing off of each other. If people have that sort of chemistry, then a podcast completely works. You see a bad podcast in the sense where it's like they take it in such a professional route because they think a podcast is going to be like, oh, this is how we have to do it or else people won't listen. And it very much deters people from listening to that podcast because they don't bring a little bit of their own magic into it. Our own little magic is that we don't do shit to prepare, honestly. But
Yeah.
like we didn't think we didn't think about this topic over. All right, we did not think, oh, we're gonna talk about podcasts today. No, I mean I wrote the title because I just thought about it and maybe we're gonna talk about it, but that's it. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
And we just wing it. There's a lot of things that we forget to do, such as updating the intro, for example, or putting something in the news. But at the end of the day, what you need to do is just make sure you have something that's going to get people to at least stop by and check it out. You know what I mean? And as long as you're able to do it, like as long as you're able to do that, even if it's for like 2 or 3 people, fuck it. You know what I mean? It's just an incredible like little hobby.
Yes. And no, that's just what I appreciate a lot I mean, you could say that about any form of content, not just podcasts as well. You could say that about gaming videos. You can say that about vlogging videos. You can say that about anything. Is as long as you put your own spice into the to what you're doing, you're gonna make your version of what you're doing special to something. Because the thing is that everyone can do it, but not everyone can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you all get what I'm saying, is I mean, you could. I mean, like right now, I mean, I'm not a gamer. Like I don't play games all too much. You know, I'm more focused on creating content than I am playing games. Now, I could be a gamer. I could decide one day just to play a video game and just record myself just playing whatever game, you know, like if it's Mario or Sonic or whatever game is available out there. But because I'm not a gamer, I wouldn't have any experience. I wouldn't really be able to play it as well. And because of that, it won't really go well. It would just kind of fall flat.
Yeah. I mean, it's simple, all right, with anything. You could, one day just be good at music or be good in doing this podcast or doing this show or doing everything, right? You could reach the top, but can you? Are you willing to sacrifice everything, leave it all out there, and just reach for that objective? Are you crazy like that? Are you an animal like I am? Well, okay, it's a rhetorical question, by the way, but like I breathe this shit. Like I seriously, like there's nothing that can pull me away from fucking doing this shit, right? Even if it means I gotta live in the streets, I will keep doing this shit because at the end of the day, it's never about clout or money or no. It's never about clout or fame or anything like that in general. But it's about the true credibility. It's about whether you can be established in this field. It could never be about, like, fame doesn't make money, all right? Credibility does. People will trust you because you're established, because you're here to stay, you are deep rooted in this field that you specialize in, right?
Yeah.
It's all about credibility. It's like doctors, all right? They have a lot of credibility because they're specialized in this field and they're established. You got, I don't know, construction companies, all right? Like, they got a lot of credibility and they're established. Apple, Samsung, all of these companies are just established. It's not fame, it's credibility, notability, and notoriety.
Yes. And, and to really, to really add on to that, when you said earlier, fame doesn't make you money, credibility does. I mean, you could look at any person that makes a viral video, but they only make one, and that's it. And they try to live off of that one thing that made them famous, just like a one-hit wonder. They try so hard to recreate what they used to do instead of doing something else that could bring in the same magic, to where it saturates it waters it down to a point where it's not funny, it's not interesting, and no one cares about it. So
this is what we discussed with Silvertop. He has made videos that have gone like very viral, right? But it's so hard to actually sustain something from one or two viral videos. What's better is, like, would you rather have, for example, 10,000 views every single video or 10 million views in one video? It's not rocket science.
Yes. And also as well is, I think like I mean it's very hard. Like it's understandable that it's hard to be able to make to have credibility. It's hard to be a top creator because you have to dedicate yourself every day. So a lot of people want to be able to try and achieve that as fast as they can. They try and do something. They try and force and make something funny. However, the thing about it is, it's not a fast thing.
Oh shit! Sorry.
No. You're good. You can stay if you want.
Okay, yeah. No, I was gonna ask if you could move me over to the VC, but I just wanted to say hello, podcast. Long time no.
Oh, you want to be moved to the other VC?
Yeah. So sorry, man.
No, it's fine, bro. Hey, you're allowed to vibe here for as long as you want, my man.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can you can VC hop. Actually, I'll just give you moderator role. It's not
awesome.
You can hop on.
Awesome. All right, hey, good luck with the podcast, guys.
All right, man. Yeah, see you later, bro.
All right, see you later, guys.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, as I was saying, so the thing about when it comes to being a top creator, everyone has to understand that it's not something you can achieve at a fast rate. Now, there are outliers to that. There are people that have been able to achieve it quickly, but it's not certain that you will. Sometimes it could take years for you to really get people to watch your stuff. And for the people that achieve it fast, for the people that achieve it really quick, it gets to their head a little bit. I mean, we've seen examples of that many times before.
Yeah, people have put themselves in deep, shit, just because they think they're just some star, right? And it's never about that. A lot of, I can tell a lot of people will just crumble by how they think and how they believe that they really have a chance at this. You know what I mean? And the thing is, though, it makes me think, a lot of people in this space don't want it as much as I do. You know what I mean? This sweet glory of just being able to keep doing what you love, right? So it benefits you and the people that you love around you too, right? The great glory of just reaching the top and being sure that you can that you can be set for life doing the stuff that you love. And a lot of people are so deep rooted in numbers, fame, the whatever, all right, the subscribers, the views, the likes, the comments, whatever. Great, their engagement metrics, all right, units, that yes, some of them, such as the click-through rate or not the impressions, but yeah, the click-through rate, the retention and everything like that, these are metrics that help you get more engagement, right? But it's not something that is going to ensure that you will live the rest of your life doing the stuff that you love. What will do that is how badly do you want that? How badly you want it, and how badly, how obsessed you are with this shit. I'm obsessed with this, all right? I've done this my whole life, this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And it saddens me to see a lot of people who are over 40 trying to make it in the YouTube scene or rapping or whatever, the hip hop scene, acting like how I acted when I was 8. Right? And this isn't a shot at anyone, but I'm just saying, it makes me think yo, I know, I totally know that I want this more than anybody. These people don't want it like I want it, right? And it really makes you think. What's up, Larry Kepley? Welcome to the stream from Denver, Colorado. Yeah. All right, what's up, man?
And you can show the proof that you're very much into this, because on your wall behind you, you have the Loopy name.
Yeah, it's inverted for the people watching, because my camera's on.
Yeah,
but yeah, I want it so bad. I have it behind me because it's a staple of who I am. It's not a character. it's a representation. It's a staple basically of who I really am, and I'm gonna get what I want out of it at the end of the day, no matter how hard it gets. It my future is definitely in a gray area, but what I could never take back is how badly I want this. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, and and the thing too is that confidence. The confidence that you have is what's going to help you in the long run,
Mm.
because I feel like a lot of people that are on YouTube or any other social media platform, they're only there because of one thing, and that's the money, and that's it. They don't really try. And I've seen this happen lots of times before. Sometimes I watch all sorts of different type of content and everything, and some people just, you can tell. That's the thing. You can tell when someone's just not doing it. You can just tell, and when the audience can tell, that's when it's really bad, because there's a level where you might not be into it, but your audience is into it.
Mm.
But there's going to be a point where your audience is going to get to your level. So if you're into it, your audience is going to be into it eventually. But if you're not into it, eventually your audience is not going to be into it either.
Yeah. The thing is, though, a lot of people who, I feel don't want this as much as I do, live in such a toxic space that they choose to live in this toxic space, right? This environment, and again, this is not a shot at anybody. This is just pure observation from, a lot of people who I see, are in this space. They feed off of anything, and the reason why people are not interested in these these sort of creators is that they are basically the shell of the real person, right, that they truly are, and they feed off of all the negativity, and you can tell they've never had true hardship, true obstacles, true struggle, true torture.
Yeah.
You know what it feels to almost have everything taken away from you. You know what I mean? Or to have your mind try to take away the one thing that keeps you motivated, or your brain just tries to take away basically the one thing that you look forward to, and make it seem like it's meaningless, right? It's almost like you're watching your baby just be taken away from you, right? And I know how it feels. I know you know how it feels, because I've seen you in that sort of time frame. It's not pretty. A lot of people have not experienced that, and they're not truly gonna be in the same boat that we are, because they never truly been through any sort of hardship that really tests the person, right? They've never really been tested by fate.
Yes, and and yeah, I do. I do like to admit that I've had that before, where I wasn't feeling it, that I wasn't into it, but it's natural. It happens, and I want people to understand that there are going to be moments of burnout. That does happen. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. It happens to all of us. And the thing about it is, you just got to be able to find the balance. I mean, it's just like a job. You're not going to work every single day. There's going to be days where you're going to have to take time off. And it's okay to take time off. It's okay. But once you return, you got to make sure that you get into it much stronger than you were before, because you want to prove to yourself that break, that time off, was absolutely worth it.
Yeah. Well, see, like burnout, like our bodies are too fucking young to burn out. You know what I mean? And if it really gets to that point, then there's something wrong, right? And maybe it's not burnout, right? Or maybe it is. Who knows, right? But we can't, like, we just can't be going through something like this. You know what I mean? Like, it just can't happen. And at the end of the day, we are responsible for absolutely everything that, you know, like every decision we make and every action that we end up taking. Like, there's just so much, man. But, like, our bodies are physically way too young to just burn out, right? We're at the first, like, 20% of our lives, right? We have an entire life ahead of us, and we're burning out at our young, beautiful teen ages. Instead of coming up with a plan to make our 20s the absolute greatest thing, right? To make our 30s a little bit more chill, but still more, you know, into it. To make our 40s a little bit more chill, a great time to spend with family and everything. Like, just think about it, bro. We're gonna be in our 20s, all right, in 1 or 2 years, right?
Yes.
That's gonna, like, that's literally like the real test, right? And we need to at least, you know, make sure that our 30s are not full of just pure struggle and pure fucking, I mean, no, there will be struggle, but we can't just make our 30s complete hell, right? And I feel like 30 would be a good time to reflect on ourselves in life, right? Think about how you spent those 20s, and if you're going to be living your life full of regret because you didn't start committing on a project that you should have started, right?
Yeah.
Every time you have an idea that you believe is truly going to take you somewhere, you have to act now. Time is something that you will never get back. You will never take back the times that you have spent being nothing but a consumer, right? And there's nothing wrong with being a consumer. We are all consumers of something, right?
Yes.
But we have to take some sort of lead sometime, right? We have to take some sort of lead, take some sort of control in our lives. We cannot let our lives controlled by some other corporate douchebags, all right, that are going to basically make us live an endless loop that you cannot get out of because you've dug yourself so far deep. You have to act. Like, our 20s are literally going to be, and I'm not saying, like, you know, work super hard and shit like that and don't think about anything else. Experience is what drives us forward, and I feel like our 30s would be a great time to reflect. Okay, I basically have everything I need now. I can live my life with a bit more ease, right? And that's why a lot of these YouTubers, like these big YouTubers who are now over 30 or over 40, I'm talking PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Dan TDM, Bazinga, KSI soon, Mini Minter, or Vicstar. No, I think Vicstar123 is still a little like younger. But all of these people are pushing 30, right? But you can tell that they've taken a slight step back, right? Not KSI, no, KSI just keeps going. But some of them have taken a little step back and have started just living the sweet part of life. And they worked for it their whole lives. And that, you know, their 30s now is just a result of what they did during their 20s.
Yeah. I agree with everything. There's just one thing I disagree with, and the only thing I disagree with is that people could be too young to feel burnout, because it can happen to any age. You know, I've had a lot of times of burnout, a lot of times, and burnout can affect people of all ages. If you're doing something and you just feel like you can't, you just feel like, you're not really doing, it's too much or anything, that's burnout. Is if you feel like, you want to change of direction, because there are some people that do content and they're just not happy with it. I've had many friends talk to me about that, who, they've experienced burnout because they're not enjoying what they're putting out. They don't feel like they enjoy themselves or they enjoy their content, because it's not to their level. It's not to their level of perfection or anything. I know a couple of friends just like that, and it's very terrible. It's very sad, but it does happen to everyone. It happens, like it's happened to me. It's happened to some of my friends.
Well, here's something that needs to be considered, right? What I mean by we are too young physically to withstand a burnout, all right? It's the idea of withstanding true burnout. I'm talking, you've been like, I know about you, all right? I don't know how, you've improved since the last time we spoke about this, but you were putting yourself in a very, very bad physical state. You weren't sleeping, right? And you were waking up at an outrageous time, right? Because you weren't sleeping at night, right? And then you were doing that consistently. Now I don't know how things are going now, right? You'll let me know later, but that is definitely something that will lead to burnout, because you put yourself through such a physical exhaust. Like, you get extremely exhausted because you don't really treat your body well while working on stuff like this, and that's something to think about. But with certain other people, is it a burnout or is it lack of commitment? And it's definitely something to think about, because you could be doing something right now, not be happy with it, feel like you're not really putting enough work, when maybe you're probably doing much more work than you'd like to give yourself credit for. It's hitting you. Then there starts to be a true lack of commitment, a true sense of lack of confidence, lack of self-awareness, just anything like that. And some people have either experienced true burnout when they've seriously done too much and they've lost their minds, or maybe they've done just enough, they don't like the course in which they're going, and they're not able to withstand that, and it just hits you there, because of the lack of heart. It hits you there.
Yeah. And I mean, that I agree with, though. That I do agree with. It is a struggle. It is a huge struggle, being a content creator. It's not easy, especially with, as well, some of the a lot of the platform changes as well, with on YouTube, for example, like demonetization, swearing on YouTube being controversial to the advertisers. It's difficult, and every day people have to really try to abide by the rules, and and the rules that affect previous content as well. Like, someone could have made a video years ago that could have been doing really well, and because of the new changes in the new policy, it completely changes how it does, like in the algorithm and everything, because of that. And and I've seen that happen with many channels before. I mean, we've seen, and I believe you have seen that as well over the course of the years. And for many people, it says it's going. Many people say it's only going to get worse from here. Nothing is going to get better. And so when it comes to that burnout, that could be an influence as well, and it can really, really be detrimental to someone's livelihood, someone's career,
Yeah.
depending on the type of content that they make and everything.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, the people who think like that, the one thing I would tell them is that things really do get better. It's just you have to choose to be open to the idea that maybe, yeah, things will get better, right? Because it might just be subconscious, right? It might just be something that's in the back of your mind that makes you think, just think, yeah, maybe things could really get better, right? You have to act on that, right? It's a thought. KSI said, that you're in control of your mind, right? And it's not the other way around. And your mind is going to shoot like some sort of idea or some thought at you, right? And it does not mean that that's how you feel. It's literally just it's just a thought, right? And it's really just up to you how you choose to react to that thought, to that idea. And you'll be much happier with how you really position yourself with what you truly believe you are, right?
Yes.
Like how we, let's think of like these late night thoughts when we get in our feels, all right? It happens to me too, all the time, right? Might happen to you too, all the time. Who knows? You get in your feels and you're like, bro, what the fuck is happening to me, right? Right?
Yeah.
Because you have the idea that, wait, this is not how fate was supposed to work, but it is apparently. Because I thought for me, I thought at least I'd be continuing with school and then I'd be done and then I'd just do something that I enjoy doing and eventually get on it. Now, my real test is I just want to be qualified for something, whether it's music or content creation or video editing or whatever. I just want some sort of qualification, right? Something that truly shows that I have put a lot of time into music, right?
Yes.
And it's all about if you meet those requirements. And bro, I think about a lot of really dumb shit, right? I think about, bro, what if I just gave it all up, went back to school and finished it and just let life fucking do its thing, right? And bro, it's an idea, it's a thought, but it's not how I feel. Because what I truly feel is the mind of a fucking warrior, a mind of alright, whatever the fuck happens, even if it means I gotta be in the streets or any stupid shit like that, I will make it to my goal. I will make it to where I want to be, and I will act on it, right? Yeah. And that's all, really. And you have to really, truly know yourself. You can love yourself, you can hate yourself, but do you know yourself? Do you know the person that you're loving or hating? Maybe not. Maybe you're not opening yourself up as a human being, and you're staying in some sort of bubble, and this is how you believe and this is how you have to act, because you're not letting yourself open up to the idea that, hey, things are going to get better and things are going to be looking up, just as long as I stick around and put some work into what I truly believe would put me out there, right?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people need to be thinking.
Yeah. It reminds me of something an old coworker of mine said at my old job, while I was at one of my worst points in life. He said, now, I'm not going to say quote for quote because, it's been years since I've last talked to him. I mean, not years, months, not years. It's been months since I left my job at, around August time last year. So it's been a few months. He said this to me. He said, you should make life do what you want life to do instead of the opposite. Instead of making life do what life wants to make you do. And because this was during the time when I was leaving social media and everything, and I was not at the happiest point in my life. So I was kind of like, whatever life, I was at this mindset where it's like, wherever life takes me, I'm just gonna go with it. If there's an opportunity that life gives to me, I'm just gonna take it because why not? If it's there, it's available, take it. But he told me that I shouldn't live that life. I shouldn't live that way because with time, if you really want to enjoy life, you gotta put in the effort. You gotta make it. You gotta do what you want to do, and not what life wants you to do, not what everyone else wants you to do. And he was right, because let me tell you this: when I went to college with my psychology major, I only was there because people thought of me as a psychologist. I know, especially, you kind of thought that I was kind of like a therapist because of the therapeutic experiences that you've had on my show before.
Yeah.
So I kind of use that as a basis as, hey, why not do this? If people are telling me that I should live this way, why not do it? Maybe it might good. Maybe it might be good.
It might good.
I thought it was gonna be good to do that. And especially with the fact is, I kind of looked it up, and therapists make a lot of money, so I was like, why not? If I can make a lot of money doing this, because medical stuff always make a lot of money because of the high cost of medical care in the United States. I was like, why not just go with it? My mom, I was talking to my mom about this, and she said, well, she asked me why I was going with it. Like, why choose psychology? Because she asked me like what my major was going to be, and I told her why, and she was like, "Are you really wanting to do this? Like, because she had the thought that I was just only doing it because other people was telling me, and quite honestly, it was." And she was like, "You shouldn't be going for something because other people are telling you to do it. You should go for it because you want to do it." And and I didn't want to listen to her. I didn't want to listen to her because I thought things were set. This was around the time where I was very indecisive with things. And here and there I can still be a bit indecisive about things because I'm not 100% with things
Well,
most of the time.
let me tell you something. I think you have a very therapeutic experience when it comes to the Jelani Muniz show, because people can literally just be free, do whatever the hell they want for other people's entertainment, right?
Yes.
Kind of like put themselves inside of an entertainer's shoes, no matter who it is, no matter anything. That's the best sort of crowd work. Bro, ever thought about how comedians fucking do this?
Yes.
I'm just saying, bro. A core.
I know the hecklers.
Bro. Hey, houseway. No, but let me tell you something. Here's something you could do. Now, you had a therapeutic experience, and you have a therapeutic like you have this sort of therapeutic atmosphere on the Jelani Muna show. But it doesn't mean that you know the human brain like it's the palm of your hand. It's not like you mastered the art of it, right? I want to help people. So I was like, oh shit, I want to be a doctor. Right. 2 + 2 is 4. And mitochondria is the powerhouse of the shit face, whatever. Sick. Now, how do I help people? Right? It's a journey, all right? It's like, 1 step forward and then 3 steps back when it comes to studying for these things. And I'm talking about in today's age, right?
Yep.
It isn't like it isn't truly I'm going to answer this question. Oh darn, I thought you did. How can I support you then monetarily? Okay, so I think I have a link in the description. Okay, no, I don't. You can send a super chat, or you can buy something from my clothing brand, which is in the description. I'm just gonna put it there. There's different ways to support me monetarily, but absolutely not required and shit like that. It's just just do whatever you want, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, Larry, are you watching my reactions from this channel or from the Blanche Reacts channel? That's what I'm wondering. Because if you don't know already, I have a reaction channel that you can already check out, and that's where I put all my stuff. Because this channel is for the podcast and music and all of the main stuff. Reactions is just something I do on the side. But back to what were we talking about? Oh yeah. What was truly therapeutic was the showmanship, right? And you can literally take advantage of that. And I'm thinking about it. It's almost like I've had an epiphany about how your career could go, bro. Imagine. The Blanche Reacts. Okay, all right. Now, again, this is my point of view. You can tell me to shut the fuck up or fuck off or whatever if this doesn't seem like something you'd do. But here it is. Core audience, right?
Yep.
You only work on getting a core audience. I don't give a fuck if you gotta upload some old episodes or some shit like that. Core audience. Now stay with me. Core audience over time, exponential growth, amazing. Oh shit. Now, you have enough of a core audience that around the United States, right?
Yep.
Around the United States, people know you. It may be 100 people, and I'm talking 100 people that actually truly actively view your content. So unique viewers, not subscribers, because subscribers is inflated. Unique people who are concurrent and watch you all the time. Now it could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 10,000. Get yourself a tiny ass little venue, all right? Write to some people, all right? I'm talking, don't buy one, all right? That's not what I'm saying, but you can rent something for like an hour or two or something like that. People will book you in, right? And actually, people will even pay you to be booked in this show because, that's a gig, that's a time, right? Now, you're in this venue. You're in front of, let's say you have 200 people that can currently watch your stuff. 20 people turned up, all right? 20 people came for the Jelani Muna show. Then you have this audience who came for other people and they're just watching you just to wait for somebody else or whatever. Now, you got people who came here for JMS. You got people who are just there, right? The Jelani Muna show. Blue show. Blue backdrop. Blue whatever the hell. You could do it. Spotlights are there. The venue, they're going to let you do it. Why? Because you're the man of the show. It doesn't mean, like, you can just be like an undercard, right? But you have that hour and a half to just shine and maybe stand out of all the people that may be booked in that venue. The crowd work is what people enjoy, right? People like to be the center of attention. Have yourself a chair. You can stand, like, you know, on the, like, one of those like presidential stands if you want. If you like standing, if you like to, you know, keep doing that.
Yeah.
The crowd work would be insane because you'd have that chair, and anybody in there has maybe 5 minutes to be on that chair and be interesting with it. You know what I mean? And it's not a podcast. It's just a show. You know what I mean? And like, I'm just saying, bro, you could totally make something out of what you have here in a real life experience way.
Well, you know, but as you said earlier, you know, it's all about credibility. And before I do that, though, I want to be able to build credibility for it. And I also want to be able to build a profit before I think about doing that. Because right now I'm a broke 18-year-old, and you know, I don't like. It's a good idea. You know, it's something that I would like to do, but I want to be able to. I want to be able to at least have experience in doing that before I do that, because there could be a chance that it could flop. Because right now I don't feel experienced enough to be able to do that. But it's an idea that I would like to do somewhere in the future. I don't know when, but something that would be interesting. And but before that, I want to be able to build the brand of myself. Now, I know I have a brand right now, but I want to be able to at least reach monetization status on YouTube before thinking about going above and beyond.
I think even with monetization status, the number one thing that you need, man, is core audience. And, you know, I'm saying that, and it's not like I don't think I have a true core audience for the Loopie channel. Maybe for Blanche Reacts, people, you know, concurrently keep watching Blanche Reacts. Cool, right? But if you have people concurrently watching Jelani Muna show, right? Now, we talked about, you know, it's not about fame or clout or whatever, but it is about notability and credibility. But, you know, credibility comes with having a core audience. You can totally be booked by people. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to pay you big bucks. You could even do a free gig, all right? Just turn up and be like, yo, I just want to do this gig and just peace out, right? And see what I can do. And if you think I'm worth it, fucking go ahead. You know what I mean? But it's a high risk, high reward thing. And obviously it's not something to do like now, right? That's something to, you know, develop as, you know, as you start having an audience or something like that might turn up and, you know, see you and stuff like that. Because you gotta like get out of like the monotone or you gotta just have that showmanship. You gotta, you know, you just have to make, you know, any piece of land yours for the time being, right? For as long as you're doing a show, that land is yours, you know what I mean? And that time is yours. The light is on you. It's your spotlight, right? Yes. So.
And you know, and I agree with what you've said. You know, I agree with a lot of things that you've said. And the reason why I want to build that credibility, I want to build the experience is, with dealing with a possibly large crowd. Now, I don't know. Now, it could be small, but small can still be large depending on the amount of people there. I want to be able to at least develop more confidence when it comes to it, because I don't feel truly confident yet, with my stuff. I've talked to you about this before, and I've talked to some of my friends about this before, but I've stressed myself out a lot, and because I haven't really reached that confidence yet where it just all just goes smoothly. So I want to be able to at least build up that confidence before I ever think about going to at least a small venue. It could be something where it's only 10 people there, but I want to be able to not fall under the pressure of being in a place that has little people, little to no people, or a lot of people there, because some people can think self-consciously when it comes to it. If there's not a lot of people, people can think people can think that it's not enough. That the opposite when it comes to a lot of people. Maybe they think it's too much. I don't want to fall under that pressure, so I want to be able to build that experience way before I ever think about doing anything major like that.
Yeah, I mean that's not, I wasn't telling you oh, do it now, but also one thing about that is that, all right, cool, you don't want to fold. All right, that's understandable. But if you want to deal with something like that, or with anything, all right, you have to be willing to fail. Let me explain myself. You have to be willing to fall under pressure. You have to be willing to fold 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 10, 20, 100. I don't know how many times it's going to take. But for any piece of victory, you have to be willing to see the ground, right? Before you even think about elevating. If you are afraid of failure, you're going to be afraid of the journey, and you're never going to be able to reach what you really truly want for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be one time, all right, where you're just going to turn up and you're going to get booed the fuck off stage. They're going to be like, well, fuck this kid, right? But it's an experience. It's going to be something you enjoy, and you'll try again. You'll figure out what it is that deterred people away, and just try again, right? And
yeah,
eventually, you just have to have some sort of natural talent to you just have to make crowd work very interesting. Bro, I see these 2 comedians on TikTok. They're are 2 Jewish guys from Berlin, right? One has a guitar, the other just, he's just there, right? And the type of crowd work they do is they ask them all right, hi, what's up? Where do you work? And they try to get a backstory out of people. There's people that, oh shit, they probably broke up, or they're, some event, right? And they just improv a song, and it's fucking hilarious. That's the best kind of crowd work. I'll send you one of their TikToks. They're fucking hilarious. Very, very funny. But and that might also help you improve in the Instagram or just live stream department too, because believe it or not, entertaining a group of people online is crowd work. All right.
Yep.
And having people interact and just be part of the experience, it's crowd work, and it's only going to help you improve on that regard too. You got to make people people just want to have fun. You have to make it fun for people. You can't just be like, hello, does anybody want to join?
Oh yeah. I know how it may be on sometimes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is one thing I want to be able to work on. Though the best thing I will say about my show is that because I can have people join in, I can learn from what other people do. Uh, and if someone, for example, if someone wants to play like a character or something like that, like for example, like the FBI, for example, you know, say what you want to say about the FBI account, but honestly, it's pretty good having that on my show because it's something I can work with. There's a lot of other people as well that pretend to be things like Officer Mark, for example, and some other people there. And there are some people that are truly who they are. Like some people are themselves. And I know that with you, you've got both. You're yourself, and you got the lemons, which is something I truly appreciate. I truly like a lot.
You better give me my goddamn lemons, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. The greatest thing is if the greatest thing is I can try and entertain an audience with what other people have to offer as well. It could build off of it. It's like stacking in a way. Someone does something, I build off of that, and they build off of that, and other people can build off as well.
Yeah.
It could be in all good fun.
True. But, you have to make it like, a thing where people actually want to join. And because, for example, imagine you were doing this in person, right, in front of 10 people. They don't know you. Some kid from New York just wanted to do some, this basically a talk show, right? Crowd work, it has to be something like just ecstatic, right? It has to be like just completely like active and just something unique that only Jelani Muna can do. But it's something that active, energetic, full of emotion, full of commitment and things like that. And people are just going to engage with the personality, and that's what's going to be fun about this sort of crowd work, and that's what's going to be happening with the Jelani Muna show. You have to make it fun for people to join. Cool,
yeah.
You've opened the door for people joining, but you haven't like properly sold people out. You've told them, hey, this is what you can do. But okay, will they? Even though all the ideas are on the table? What people want is just the ability to feel like they can engage with a personality that is probably going to change their lives for the better.
Yep. Yeah. Though I do want to also put some attention to the other side of the show, not just not the blue shows, but the green shows as well. I want to put some attention on that too, because that is something I want to use to kind of sell as well. The idea, I've got some ideas that I've got in the back of my head at the moment. Don't know if I can execute them, but just trying to see what can really work out is start small and try and see if I can make it huge is something I like to do. Is plant a seed and grow a tree is something that I would like to do. See if I can do like something story-wise, try and build something. Because, that's what a lot of YouTubers, especially live streaming YouTubers or live streaming content creators, they do. For example, I Show Speed with Ben. That was something that started off something small. He just, I Showed Speed just playing a game from a decade ago that people most likely forgot about. But because of his magic, because of his personality, his character, and everything, he was able to build that into something much bigger than people thought it was ever going to be. Quite honestly, I didn't even think when I was originally seeing it, I didn't even think it was going to be something as huge as it is. But he was able to carry that over because of how he put his twist on it. Just a character that only says like 3 or 4 responses, but he was able to do something with it because he could.
Yeah, so much so so the reason why he doesn't do that anymore is the developers have actually emailed him saying like, "Yo, you gotta stop, or else we're literally just gonna sue you, bro." Because like their image obviously was tainted by the dumb shit that iShowSpeed was saying to Talking Ben, and that being mainstreamed to millions of people. I can understand obviously like why the developers would be enraged, bro, but like you think to yourself like, bro, even when the cameras are off, think of how many millions of people just open Talking Ben and just say the dumbest shit ever. Has that never occurred to these developers? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And especially the fact that it took a decade for that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people that have done stuff like Talking Tom, for example. I mean, I remember watching Deji used to do some Talking Tom videos, and Talking Angela as well. So it's not anything new, but no one has really done it with Talking Ben, and especially with the way that iShowSpeed did it. Yeah. No one has put at that level. Usually with the videos before that, it was pretty basic. You had the average, insult here and there. You had the average thing, maybe the funny remark here and there, but not a story. Not a story like iShowSpeed. And he was able to carry on with it until, the developers got in the way. But with the amount of time, even a month, even in 1 month, because I think he did this around like last year, like I think February 2022 time or whatever. I remember that's when I first started watching it, around that time. But with that, it's something that I don't really see too many people are able to do, because no one thought that a decade-old game was going to be something bigger than what iShowSpeed made it out to be.
Yeah. Man. Let's go on to a different subject. The other half of the title of this episode, the struggle of bad refurbished tech.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I mean, bro, like I don't know how people just fuck up so bad that they have to give any sort of buyer the worst sort of experience just because the tech is just refurbished.
Yeah. Would you like to can you explain what refurbished means to anyone that doesn't know?
Okay, so refurbished is any piece of tech that was tampered with in terms of repairing the aesthetic look or the hardware or any internal mechanisms in the tech to basically bring it back to life, for another cycle of life for another buyer who may have bought, it's basically a used product that was taken and repaired, right? And for Apple products, this is something that just doesn't really click, that really doesn't work because of Apple's very shitty right to repair. And I've gotten in the wrong end of that.
Yeah. And so now explain the story. I mean, all I know is you bought an iPad. For cheaper than it would have been if it was brand new. and you said you got some issues with it. What are the issues that you've had with
Okay,
it?
so I bought an iPad on an installment plan that would have lasted for over 4 months. Basically dividing the price in four and paying in those four installments. Obviously, there would be a percentage that would go to the company that provides this sort of service, but it's basically like a credit, like a lease in a way. Like you know how you're like a mortgage, or like when you're leasing a car or something like that. That's what happens. It's not in any way like renting. It's just down payments, honestly. So I bought an iPad Air refurbished, fourth generation from 2020, because they have discontinued actual like new sealed products from there. So finding that is very difficult. It is much more expensive than the new iPad 10th generation, which is the base product. And I thought I landed on a very good deal because it said brand new. Just, I don't know, it's just very stupid. So it wasn't brand new, it was refurbished, and aesthetically, everything was great. Everything was fine in terms of the aesthetic. What wasn't fine was what was inside. Every time the iPad would just crash and restart, crash and restart, crash and restart. And I already had a problem with the accessory, basically, of like like I bought a folio basically in order to ensure that I can use my iPad as like laptop replacement, and it just didn't work. I felt, well, not that it didn't work, but I bought the wrong thing. I had to send it back. I'm waiting for my refund now. And then I ended up buying the right thing. I went back home and plugged in this accessory, which is powered by the iPad itself. It's not Bluetooth or anything, but it ended up making the situation much worse. The iPad would just not stop restarting every like 3 minutes. Like, I can tell you, it was annoying as fuck. It would crash at every moment, just every 3 minutes, and it is hell. So now, because nothing about this was said on Amazon, I am sending it back, and they're gonna refund me, and I'm gonna have to buy an iPad brand new, because even buying a refurbished Apple product, that completely voids the warranty, the Apple Care, and that would allow you to repair any sort of internal problems at an Apple store for free of charge. So I've learned my lesson. It's very stupid. I've wasted my whole week hyping up this idea, and I've just majorly failed.
Well, I mean, you can't really blame yourself because you didn't know. You didn't know. No one. There was no information to tell you that that was going to happen. So, no faults to you, and you'll be able to get your money back, which is a good thing because not a lot of people can, because there are people that buy products and they can't get a refund for it. So at least with you, you have the ability to get your money back.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
But, well, yeah. Though, very unfortunate situation, but hey. At least it kind of tells people that if you want to buy a refurbished product, don't get from Apple. Always buy Android.
No. No, let me tell you something. It's not even like just Apple. It's basically any like of the big companies now who basically make it so hard for people to just repair phones. And it's nothing wrong with Apple. It's mostly something wrong with the resellers basically. It's much better to buy something used that's in shitty condition than to buy something that's refurbished. I'll give you an example. An iPhone, just the highest end iPhone, used, full of scratches, camera maybe isn't perfect, maybe the back glass has a few scratches or whatever, the screen has a few scratches. That might be expensive, but still considerably less expensive than a brand new one. Now you have a refurbished, which is much cheaper, or you find a bargain. The screen has been replaced, or the battery has been replaced, or a camera, or something like that. You lose 90% of the features of your phone. Your phone is hanging by a small, very, very small thread. I had an iPhone 11 that I broke the screen, and I've had to replace the screen. With that, I've lost Face ID. My warranty is no longer valid. Well, for that phone anyways. Yeah, I lost Face ID. That warranty is no longer valid. Battery life has dropped considerably lower. Basically lost a bunch of features of my phone. Not only that, there were lines like as if just the screen was already broken when it was replaced because it wasn't supported with the phone. I don't know why, but it just happens. So that's annoying.
Well, it's just, I mean, that's just unfortunate though. But I thought Android was like more lenient when it came to refurbished products.
The thing is though, Android depending on which company you get the phone off, Android phones are just generally cheap. Why? Because they're open source and they provide basically little to no simplicity. It's just, hey, this is an operating system where you can do whatever the hell you want. Here you go, $200, right? And sure, people might find some functionalities. I think, like, I was on Android for quite a long time before I switched to iPhone, so I can see the appeal for Android. I had a Samsung Galaxy S4 for the better part of maybe 2-3 years, or just I was on Samsung phones anyways for quite a long time. I can get behind a Samsung phone if I wanted to, but there will never be something that more simple than an Apple product because it makes you feel like one of them, right? That you might have the most innovative features, right? But what makes it more unique is the simplicity of these new features. These phones out here have like 5 cameras in the back, and most of them are just useless. iPhones are still stuck on 3 because why just go overkill when you can market something? You can have those 3 cameras, right, as opposed to having 5, but still have the form factor of, hey, we're just going to improve these 3 cameras because our potential hasn't fully been reached. People just add more and more cameras. I swear, there's a phone out here that has 8 cameras on the back, and
Damn.
And the phone runs like shit because it's just Android. And you will never have anything that's more secure as an operating system than iOS. That shit will never get a virus or any sort of like tracker. They block that shit. You don't know how much your phone is doing in the background to make sure that like your experience is just simple. Sure, there's Face ID, there's Touch ID, there's, whatever, fingerprints on a screen or like front cameras behind the screen, whatever, cool technology. But it's all about the simplicity, the compatibility, and everything. And obviously that experience is sold as a premium. I mean, I'm able to just simply do that and just fuck around. And basically the entire fate of this phone is in my hands. And that,
Well, yeah. But I mean, like for me, like I've been an Android user for basically most of my life. The only time I used an Apple product was when I was a little kid, and I'd always try and use my mom's phone to look up stuff. So I mean that's my bias because I've had this. I always use Android. Currently I have a Samsung phone that I've been using ever since October 2019. So that's pretty long for that's pretty long for a
For a,
phone lifespan.
yeah, for a phone, it is pretty long, honestly. But
Yeah.
um, repairing products, bro, you're gonna fall flatter by repairing a product rather than buying a new product. I've learned my
Yeah.
lesson with that. You're gonna suck the life out of your already broken phone. It's like being the grim reaper of your own product. You start repairing something that's in your phone, and your phone will never function the same again. Now, that does not apply to older phones. Like, for example, an iPhone 6. If I see a broken iPhone 6, I can repair that shit myself. Give me the screen, give me the tools, I can do it, right? It's just
Yeah.
a flap here, a flap there. Unscrew this, unscrew that. Keep the screws somewhere. Keep the little metal plates somewhere. More flaps, more ribbon cables. Out. Get the new screen. Ribbon cables, flaps, plates, screws. Boom. You got a new phone, right? And it's that
Yeah.
easy. But nowadays, it's much more difficult because you do any bit of repairing to your phone and it's fucked. So either spend a bunch of money sucking the life out of your phone, even at an Apple store, or just buy a new product that has even more features and just enjoy it.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, it's just and it's just unfortunate though as well that you can't easily repair something nowadays. I mean, right now the thing is, with my phone, I've had it for a long time. The only problem is there's one scratch on it, but not enough to replace it. But it does bother me sometimes. But um, but thing is though is I just wish it was easier. But yeah, very unfortunate what you went through the past week with your iPad. I
Oh,
remember seeing how excited you were to get the iPad, and everything. So yeah, very unfortunate situation. But hey, look, you have more wisdom now than you did back then.
mm,
And that's something you can't take back. That's something you can't lose. Is that wisdom that you have?
yeah, of course. Um, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's fucked up because like you have the thing in your hands. You're like, oh shit, oh damn, I worked hard for it. It's mine now. And then see that shit not working right in front of you, and you're like, bro, I spent fucking days on this. You know what I mean? I spent a whole ass fucking week trying to make this work. Now I have 13 days, right, until I go see Livy. I want to have an iPad before I go see Livy. That means I can take that with me instead of my chunky ass laptop and work from there. I mean,
Yeah.
want to know where I uploaded all those podcast episodes to Spotify for podcasters? That iPad. So, yeah, before all that shit, like, fucked, like, went downhill.
Yeah. Um, but what was the moment like? When was the moment that you like? When did this like? What was the original cause for this all to happen? Because, as you said, it worked well originally until there was a point where it stopped working.
Well, it was already showing signs of doing that sort of reboot loop. I turned on the iPad and it showed like it showed an icon that basically meant that the phone or the iPad was on 0% battery
Yeah.
until the moment that it booted a little bit more, or I charged it or something like that, and then it went at like 80% instantly, right? So I'm thinking it's either a battery problem or it's a screen problem or a CPU problem. Most likely it's hardware, unfortunately, and it could probably be a loose connection or something like that, but I was not about to go like waste my time with this any longer. I'll be right back. I'm gonna mute.
All right. Well, while he's gone for a bit, don't know how long he's going to be gone for. I guess this is an opportunity to discuss about some things that's happening with me right now. So currently, right now, I'm thinking about going back and doing my show again. I've had a bit of a unfortunate burnout period of time during February, and if you were to watch my videos, you would see that there hasn't been really much new over the course of the months. But as I was talking about earlier with burnout and everything, I want to be able to come back bigger, and I will, and you will all see that.
All right, what's up?
Okay, I'm just talking about JMS and how I'm gonna return soon. Yeah.
Always take the opportunity to talk about the show, man. It's good, man.
Well, see, I wish I had like more else to talk about. That's why I need to have the chat open. So I don't really have chat open, so I can't really see anything.
Nothing's really going on in chat. Somebody did hop on and he showed a lot of praise for the reaction channel, and I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, I do recommend though for future episodes having the chat open. I mean, you have your laptop, right? You're
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're on your laptop. Just put your phone somewhere, man. You can have the chat somewhere. Or oh wait, you have two laptops.
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, the thing is, though, I don't know if there's enough space on the desk that I use, like the table, because I use a pretty small table. It's like on wheels, so I can move it, and it's that's what I use. So I don't know if there's enough space to put both of my laptops on.
Yeah.
But
or even just put it somewhere where you can turn around and just be like, oh, all right, there's the chat, right? Doesn't mean that it has to be like right in front of you. I mean,
I guess so.
Yeah, you could also have your phone on that table. Just be like, oh, all right, just somewhere where you can see chat. Just be aware of like surroundings, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking shitty ass mother dicks. Fucking.
But yeah. Well, at least you. So, but will you still buy things refurbished? Like, if you had to buy like a computer or something like that, would you?
Well, I wouldn't buy a computer refurbished. No, because that means that there's wear and tear on the device or like itself. That I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
What I would do though is go to one of those like stores where they sell used stuff and actually test the product for a good deal amount of time. Like I went to that store where I bought the AirPods Pro, like in Wales, and I feel like that's a really good place. Now the only reason I'd go back there is to buy an Apple Pencil because them shits are expensive. But It's better to buy something that's used and like inspected and sold like that, rather than just talking about some refurbished shit. Because refurbished always means something was done to tamper with the devices. Think about it: a refurbished Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Already, that's a red flag. Or a refurbished Nintendo DS, or actually no, that's not even bad, because that's just old tech, right? But anything that like new, that's refurbished, that is proprietary to their devices, it's gonna go to shit. It's eventually gonna go to shit, because it's these third-party Chinese companies making something that even Apple doesn't even improve themselves. That's why with Apple products, the best thing to do would be to use a charger that came with the device, right?
Yeah.
And because with other, chargers that are sold by other companies, which is what happened. I mean, the charger that came with my iPad wasn't even like a true Apple charger, but that already says a lot. That just, I mean, it's not official, therefore it's not going to perform correctly.
Well, one benefit of my phone is, with the chargers I use, I could use any charger as long as it's got the same shape. Now, I used to have a PlayStation 4. Got it at my old job from a coworker of mine. Recently gave it away to a friend for free because honestly, I wasn't going to use it. So just give it to someone that would definitely use it for something. They've told me that they're gonna play Fortnite on it, stream it on Twitch, whatever. But I had to take away the PlayStation. But I told them this. I told them that I told them that it was going to come without the controller wire, because I use that as my phone charger, because it's a pretty good phone charger. But they had something that was similar, basically. So because it's the same thing, like the same basic charger, it worked. Like, you could use an Android charger for the PlayStation 4 cable and vice versa.
Not for everything. I mean, it doesn't matter how far back tech goes. All right, so there's a reason. So, all right, let me tell you about a law in the EU. Starting 2024, every single device from a company has to have the same charging port, which means everybody must switch to USB-C if they haven't already. And that is going to make sure that micro USB, which is what you have for your charger and the PS4 controller or whatever, that will be gone. Yeah. And new devices will be charged with USB-C. I don't fully support it because USB-C charges very slow, but it is good for like storage and like hard drives and stuff like that, file management, but it's not good for like batteries and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so, but at least now the positive I will say about that, about everything sharing a universal charger, is when you're out somewhere and you don't have a charger on you, and this is a true story, because the same friend that I gave my PS4 to, we were out late at night watching a movie at the movie theaters. It was called, I believe the movie was Scream, or not Scream, Smile. That was the movie, the new movie, Smile.
Didn't we watch it together, bro? Weren't you there?
Well, I think, but I remember I watched in theaters the Smile movie. This was around the time it first came out, so like I think this was like September 2022 or so, and so we watched it in theaters, and it was it was an okay movie. It was good, but I wasn't really shocked by anything. I was more laughing because I've seen the real stuff, and when you see the real stuff, the fake stuff looks ridiculous. And I was laughing. I was also laughing at my friend because my friend was scared as well. My friend was scared at the movie. My friend was scared, so I was laughing at him a lot, and it was like a funny experience. What happened afterwards was we leave the theater. It's late at night. Don't know how late it is. Probably around 10 or so, 10 or 11 o'clock or so. We were at the movie theater. It was like very late. And basically what happened was we didn't really charge our phones. So both of our phones died. And we didn't have a car because we used Uber. I mean, my friend is able to drive, but this time he wasn't able to use because he usually uses his parents' car to drive. This time he didn't, so we used an Uber to get to the movie theater. And since both of our phones were dead, we couldn't call an Uber. We couldn't get an Uber. So at first we were kind of. I wasn't really panicking because I had an idea. My friend was panicking because he was wondering how we were gonna get home. How are we gonna get home? We're just here. It's late at night, and he had a curfew. He had to be home by like 12 or so. And I told him not to worry because I knew that there had to be somewhere that had a charger, and because before this happened, like months ago, we went to a Wendy's, and basically they have chargers. Like I was able to charge my phone because Wendy's serves chargers, and they give chargers. So I had that same thought that if Wendy's was able to give a charger, then there had to be other places. Now, because of how late it was, there weren't many places that were open. A lot of places that we were trying to go to, they closed because they closed around 10, 11 o'clock or so. But then there was a bar near us. There was a bar that we went to. And those are open late at night, like 3 o'clock a.m. They're usually open and everything. They were open. So we went there. And I had the idea that they had to have a charger somewhere because, people have to contact their families and everything. People drink and, they don't have, they can't drive, so they have to call an Uber, but their phone's dead. So I knew that they had to have a charger. They didn't have an iPhone charger, but they had an Android charger, the micro USB that you were talking about. They had that. And I used that to charge my phone. And we were able to, and because of that, he was happy. Like we were both excited because it took a long time. This was, I think, this like 11 o'clock at this time, like almost 12 o'clock. He was or this might have actually been 12, and he was panicking, but he relieved himself. He after he got relieved after we were able to get the charger for me to charge my phone, and we used that. And because of that, I called an Uber, and the Uber actually had an iPhone charger for him to charge his phone because he had to text his mom, and we basically got home pretty much safe. My parents don't even know about this to this day, but
Damn.
it was a pretty fun experience. I'm not gonna lie, because that was the first experience, the first, I guess, in a way, survival experience. Because there was a point where I didn't actually know how we were gonna get home, but I had the idea in the back of my head that there had to be some way. Because my friend was thinking about asking someone, but not too many people carry chargers around, and asking random people is not going to be a good experience. So I knew we had to go somewhere, like some sort of restaurant or some sort of building that had something like that available, chargers.
Yeah, of course. Well, damn, what a story. Fuck. But
Yeah, I know.
you got to have more of these like survival experiences, man, because that's it's only gonna bring you further. But hey, we have been live for about an hour and 45 minutes. I think maybe it's time to just wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We're gonna go talk with the homies and stuff like that. Who are also in VC. I do want to say thank you to everybody for watching and listening to the podcast. You guys, listen to us again every Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, it's daylight savings time right now, so it's gonna be 1:30 p.m. Eastern for maybe like a week or two. But then you're gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be 2:30 p.m. Eastern. You just gotta wait until you're back in the real world. But yeah, it's usually every Saturday at like 7:30 p.m. UK time. That yeah, okay, all right. I don't even know why like daylight savings time doesn't happen in like every country. It would be much
I don't
easier.
know.
Or,
See, I still feel like daylight savings is a pretty weird concept because
useless.
yeah.
It's completely useless. You don't save any power. In fact, you use more power.
Apparently, the origin of it is for farmers, but I don't really see.
I see it a little bit, I guess like 1 hour sooner for certain things with certain animals. I get it. But nowadays it's just it just doesn't stick, man. But apparently they're trying to get rid of it, so that's cool.
Yeah, they need to, honestly, because I want to be able to have consistent time.
Though I prefer this like hour layout because like it doesn't get dark this early. Like it gets dark at approximately like 8-9 p.m. So that's good.
Yeah. So I guess for better lighting, I guess because yeah, because for me, what I did was I never told you what I got for my show. So basically, I bought some curtains so that I'm able, like blackout curtains, so that I'm able to cover the light that comes into my room. So when it comes to the podcast, you don't. It's not really like the lighting's not too much of an issue or anything. So now it's like dark here.
Yeah. Now all you need is like some like a ring light, you know what I mean? Just to finish that off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. Good shit, bro.
Yep.
Alright. Everybody, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to the Loophole Podcast. Catch us again Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I will see you guys again next time. Bless up and stay hype.
Reach the top. What's that?
It's a cup of tea, man.
Tea.
I just in time, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Bless up and stay hype.
Reach the top.
See you guys again next time. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their days. Fuck Lady Gaga, and I'll see you guys later. Wait, no, I fucked up the outro. Fuck Lady Gaga and penis. Wait, hold on.